I've been playing Artfight for 4 years, and you may be wondering, what is Artfight? Well, Artfight is an annual event that happens every July where two teams will battle it out using their art. And so, when one user does art, they get points. And at the end of the month, all the points are added up together, and there is a winner. Number 1, ask yourself, quality or quantity? Riddle me this. Would you rather have 10 amazing, fully rendered pieces of art with backgrounds and really good lighting that you really put your above and beyond effort for 100 points in? Or would you rather instead make 100 drawings? Doesn't have to have a background. Maybe just something that you doodled, good sketches, no line art, maybe a little bit of color, but just overall cell shading for 100 people for 10 points? Well, if you're like me and you're like, I don't know, how do I know that? Well, when I'm in doubt, I always rely on a good old-fashioned pro and cons list. Here we have quality on the left side and quantity on the other side. Okay, first things first. For quality, it will spend more time. That's why it's in red. While for quantity, it's less time. For quality, you'll probably get a really high quality revenge, while for quantity, more people are more likely to revenge you back, which means draw your drawing. While for quality, you're more likely to be satisfied with yourself, putting a lot of effort into one drawing. While for quantity, you'll probably only be putting about 25% or 50% of your effort, and so you won't be the most satisfied in yourself. But hey, it's a game, right? Another thing is, you really have to ask yourself, is this the work I really want to be doing? Because other people will reply to your quality drawing, while for quantity, at most you'll get is probably just one comment, or sometimes maybe not even a comment in your quality works, depending on how it is. That's why I'm a firm believer in quality. But I used to be someone who pumped out 10 drawings on the first day of July, while now I'm kind of on 1 to 2 drawings only. Here's an example of all the 10 drawings I did on July 1st. As you can see, they're pretty messy. I didn't really focus that much on really just one individual character, and they all look like they were made by somebody else, even though it's just me, the same person. But you can see here, you can see the messy line art, you can see the straight lines, and also if you zoom in, you'll see the bad fill tool, and just a bunch of things wrong that, if you look too closely at it, it's kind of janky. This is also made on July 1st, and I was pretty proud of this, but again, it was just me slapping on a bunch of filters, and there's a lot of things which, if I had more time, I would probably fix. And I used a lot of tools to make my art flow really fast, and instead of fixing line art, I just drew on the sketch, on top or below the sketch, and that concludes my July 1st. I will say about 8 people revenged me back for these 10 drawings, and here are some of the drawings that they revenged me back for, and it's definitely a really good way to get a lot of art for your OCs, honestly, even though it is a lot of work making 10 drawings every day. But if you scroll up to my most recent works, I spent a lot more time on them, and I'm just so proud with the amount of details and actually just putting in a background, because I don't usually draw backgrounds, and I just feel so much happier looking at them. I am so proud. Sure, it was 5 hours, and I didn't get any sleep, and there are some things that I will say are a little bit janky, like the hair and other small details. But, I'm majority pretty satisfied with the amount of effort I put in. Number 2, use social media to your advantage. A lot of people post their art fight on social media, because otherwise the only way to get discovered is using the discovery, which is just putting in everything manually. And sometimes if you choose to get characters from random, you're going to be swept away because there's constantly new people joining Artfight. And so you might be saying, well, Yana, how do other people notice me? Draw other people's characters and draw them well. Because when I see someone I really like, I usually go to their defenses and see other people's art styles. And if anything sticks out to me in the most recent attacks, then I go, wow, this is worth drawing. And if I have a character that I really like, then I just draw them like immediately. This brings me to having a good reference. One of the things that are not talked about is that your reference needs to be understandable. So I'll give you, this is a good example. I have a full body image of my character. I have the color blotches on the side of what I would like someone to use. And I have some images showing her personality. As you could see, she's an angel and she's happy all the time and she's wearing a smile. And I just have little things about them as well in the description and more than one image showing what she likes and some rendered-ish drawings of her and like a little profile thing. That's why people draw her the most compared to all my other characters. Now, for a really bad example, I'm also going to use myself because I don't want to put people through that. Here is a bad example. It's in black and white and there's no description about her. In fact, you don't know anything. Maybe like, yeah, is she an Oni? Is she a demon? What is she? And also, I think I only drew 3 fingers on her, and this is an outdated piece of work. And what is that shadow behind her? There's so many questions left unanswered, and also, it doesn't give you a good representation of my character. Of like, is she happy? Is she sad? And, you don't really get a lot of substance from drawing her. However, that doesn't stop other people from drawing her because I got one attack of someone drawing her, which is, cool. But also, there's not much there to really look at, I will say. Another thing I don't see people talking about is how wonderful the bookmark feature is. In here, not only do I have one for the ones I already have done, I also have drawings of people or characters that I want to draw. This is all the characters I want to draw. Well, in here is all the characters that I have drawn. This is just much easier to go back and look at comments and stuff. Not only that, I also have one for daily quota, what characters I want to draw today, so I don't get overwhelmed looking at everything I've ever bookmarked, as well as something else for cool people, which is just people with art styles I really admire. And also, I usually, when I'm doing a mass attack, I also have one for those. So important to make friends on artfight. Shoot somebody a DM, comment. People are just humans and they want to see their art being adored, and it's important to be nice and to follow the rules, especially if I have character permissions that says one thing. Please don't just do the other. Just be a decent human being. Another thing is leave a little about me because I really want to know you more as a person, and add links for me to look at your friends because I want to know who you hang out with, which sounds creepy, but sometimes I just really want to see more people who you like or what artists you admire, which is why people follow other artists and why I follow so many artists, because in subscriptions, I just want to see the amazing works of art that they do because I'm just so proud of them, and I really just want sometimes to get like a random wave of inspiration just looking at someone else's art. Anyways, leave a comment down below. I will always respond unless you say something real weird, but I will always respond, and yeah, come fight me. I'll attack you back no matter what. Yana.